Hello there and welcome to another episode of 4TimsWeekly podcast. You join us on Monday the 22nd of November after what was a very successful weekend for the Celts. They reached their first cup final since they won the quadruple treble. They saw off St Johnstone 1-0, James Forrest getting the goal. Danny, I'll come straight to you. It was a great weekend for Celtic, great weekend for Ange, and just generally a great weekend for teams in green and white.
It couldn't have went any better for Celtic or my new local team. It was a big game. We spoke about last week how big a game it was for Celtic, Postecoglou in particular. And you know what? It was a battle. It was a really tough 90 minutes, but they got the job done. And it was testament to what he's building so far that, you know, if we'd have won and lost that game, the pundits that were there, fans on Twitter, probably us on here, would be saying, well, you know, Celtic have not really won the battles yet. They can't win ugly. Well, you know, you get a semi-final, it's all about winning. And that was a great one. And they probably learned a lot more for that 90 minutes at Hampden. That's a lot of their first games there. I know some of them have already played there, but they probably learned an awful lot for that 90 minutes. Especially when you see like the atmosphere of Celtic fans the whole game kept going, and then as it got to 67 minutes, the stuff I bet they all came out. The lift that must have gave the players for the last 25 minutes must have been phenomenal, because we weren't struggling. I always thought we were in control of the game, and I always thought we were going to win the game. But you know what it's like, semi-finals. We've seen it before with Celtic. Even, I mean, Tony will know this better than anybody if you talk to me for the last couple of years, but even when Rodgers was there, we were playing cup games, I always used to get terrified. Anytime teams get a corner, I'd be shitting myself. So we needed that goal, and Forrest came off the bench and provided it. But what I thought was really good, Dan, Cal McGregor at the end of the game, I think he was absolutely buzzing. I think this is his 9th final, I might be wrong, but he's certainly played an awful lot of finals, and it's good to see that he's hungry for even more.
Absolutely, as some teams say, hunger has been questioned, but for this weekend, you've seen it was the players who have been there and done it who really showed how much it meant to us, with James Forrest getting a goal, Callum McGregor celebrating like mad and leading the team to his first cup final as captain as well. And another one in that sort of bracket, I would say, Neil Beaton. I thought he had a very good game as well, picked up an early booting, but I thought he was generally very good. Probably my pick of the midfielders, especially in the first half. But Andy, a few of us had predicted quite handsome Celtic win. It turned out not to be like that. I don't know about you, but I thought St Johnstone, like in terms of how you defend your trophy, I thought it was pretty shambolic for them. I thought they were just there to kick Celtic and had no intention on attacking us. But it ended up a pretty tight affair, and no matter what people's opinions are on James Forrest, it's another big game and another big goal that he scored.
I mean, they gave us exactly what we expected. Some has predicted they would give us. No really much interest in sort of moving up the park and try to get a goal. He could have been forgiven for thinking they were trying to play for extra time and penalties for the get-go. I mean, that's obviously a massive part of how we play, and teams are fearful that if they open up they could get a fucking drubbing, but at the same time it must be fucking depressing to watch if you're a St Johnstone fan, your team play like that. And let's be honest, it was 1-0, but we knew it was an absolute whimper. But spot on in terms of, listen, we all want to see Celtic scoring 4 and 5 and sort of playing really well. And listen, there was parts of the games where we did play good football. There's parts of the games where sometimes you do need to knuckle down and just work hard. We did that. Yeah, so as he does, bits of magic. Again, Captain McGregor just showing that part of the reason why I made him the captain, he's got that desire, that hunger. And again, it was we worked and we got the opportunity and we got the goal. Manager was criticised a lot early on in the season for substitutions, but probably lack of substitutions. But we've spoke multiple times about how we felt personally, or I felt, that a lot of that was down to just not having the options. Now we're starting to see them come back, i.e. your James Forrest. So let's be honest, we have missed. Anybody would miss a player that's, I think it was earlier on, I heard 19 trophies or something he's got now as a Celtic player. That's fucking outstanding. But of course you're going to miss a player at that sort of that level. He's also scored a barrel load of big goals for Celtic, as you mentioned. And I mean, him off the bench, it showed you, as I said, we were missing earlier on in the season, but he's back now, thankfully, and it's only going to be a good thing. And even for a badder, like again, a quieter game, he will have them as a young boy, but Forrest's only going to make him a better player. They're only going to push each other, sort of make each other a better player, score more goals for the club, and make it a lot of competition for that sort of starting spot outright. But buzzing for Forrest, you've seen what it meant to him, you've seen the celebrations. There's a good photo of him and McGregor celebrating together, and it shows you what it means to them. They still get it after all this time, after all that success. They want more, and I really, in terms of that League Cup, I don't really think anybody's going to stand in their way for getting it. But really, really good performance in terms of sort of St Johnstone didn't have any interest in making it a difficult game. Sort of for them scoring, it was always going to be they'll try and take it to extra time. But aye, buzzing to get to an half final, and then the Capitals green and white team gave us all a laugh the next day.
Aye, absolutely. I think we all enjoyed that yesterday. And Danny, I'll come back to you. As Andy said, James Forrest is well on his way to becoming, he already is one of Celtic's most decorated players, but he's looked closer to extending that way. Big moments. How important was it for Ange to get to his first final? Like, I know James Forrest has won many, but it's just as important for Ange and probably many of this team to get their hands on the first trophy as Celtic.
It's very important. I think I put a tweet out last week, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, it said, since Wim Jansen, every Celtic manager that's won the league in his first season won the League Cup first. And it just shows you the League Cup often gets overlooked. Certainly it hasn't been overlooked by us in the last 5 years especially. We've valued it very much, but it's very important to this club. Imagine Kyogo, Jota, Abada, Carter Vickers, who I thought was tremendous on Saturday. Thought he was the best. I thought Peter was the best player in the park. Him and Jota played St Johnstone themselves in the first half, but the last 20 minutes, Carter Vickers was imperious again. But players like that, Joe Hart, obviously he's won stuff before, Joe Hart, but no one in at Celtic. Imagine these players winning a trophy at Celtic couple of days before Christmas. Fans are going to be right up for it because there's a right good feeling about the club at the minute, and you know, Celtic being Celtic will probably go through with a particular appointment soon and ruin it, but there's a right good feel about when the team on the park at the minute and the fans is a good bond. You see the adulation that Postecoglou gets for the support. He can clearly see he's loving every minute of it. And, you know, Cal McGregor as well, Dan, you know, this will be his first trophy as the club captain. So if we go on and win it, you know, we've got any right to go on and win it. We need to earn it. We need to go beat Hibs. Hibs will be right up for it after a great performance yesterday, so we need to respond to them. But it's a great opportunity that's looked right down in the face now. And I know me and you, Dan, have came to no blows with all that serious. We've argued about this today, but I just think it's the best thing that could happen for a Celtic team is avoiding Rangers in the final. I think the whole particular circus that comes with a final like that, remember the carry on 2 years ago, will Edward play, will Elyounoussi play, Bolingoli play, will Johnny Hayes play? We ended up fucking Lewis Morgan up front. Elyounoussi wasn't fit to get gambled on. It didn't pay off for us, and then we got away with one in the end. But the whole particular circus, and you know, I said it to you, I think the next time we play them got to be a full Celtic Park. If we can win a trophy and not play them, it's an added bonus. And I just think that going into this final, obviously there's league games to play before them, but it's just a massive chance we've got now to win a trophy and kick on for the rest of the season. It's Saturday, this weekend, it was just such a perfect weekend for everybody at the club.
Aye, I completely agree. I know, as you mentioned, that says that look, it's ultimately an easier sort of task for Celtic to overcome Hibs than it would be to beat them. But I think I was just letting my emotions speak, and I'm that desperate to get beating them again. But I wanted it to happen sooner, but I'm quite happy now to wait the extra 13 days or whatever it will take till we play them at Celtic Park on the 2nd of January. But no, I think it's been a great weekend. I think Celtic fans have had a few disappointments this season, like games against Livingston, like the home game against Dundee United as well. But I think this team just keeps coming back, and especially this being the first game back after the international break didn't help us. But I thought, as you mentioned earlier, Danny, it was just like the type of game where Celtic win ugly, a bit like up at Pittodrie, where the only thing that really mattered on Saturday was the result, and Celtic got it. And you know what, we'll not always have it that tough, and we'll not have to grind it out like that often if we do turn up. But I just thought it was pivotal, and I think it could be an important point in the season, not just for this weekend and what happened, but just because, as you say, getting that League Cup back at Celtic Park, like, I know a few people don't really think much of the League Cup, but like as I said in the media, you've got fucking chaos going out at the other side of the city. You've got a manager who says his job was done. You've got a player who's saying that their hunger's no there, so they're clearly still fucking besotted by 10 in a row, whereas Celtic look to have moved on and look to be building for the future and looking to add new successes rather than resting on what they've previously done. And then I know they've got a new manager in. We await to see what will happen with him, but he was quite happy just eating prawn sandwiches in the hospitality section yesterday, so I don't think we've anything much to fear there. But Tony, you've joined us. What was your thoughts on Saturday? It was an emotional day. It was a tight game, but ultimately Celtic came out on top, and that's all that matters.
Oh, it was a fantastic weekend. Probably hear my voice is a bit gone. There's a lot of drinking, a lot of singing, a lot of shouting. But I feel as though I say this most weeks, but I think the manager deserves a huge amount of credit for the second half. I thought the first half was brutal, and that's probably because of how St Johnstone set up. We started off quite well, but they didn't offer anything. They just wanted to frustrate. But I thought second half we were a lot better, a lot more direct, and actually looked like we could get the goal, and we did get it. It's James Forrest, who has won countless trophies at Celtic. A good picture of him and McGregor, who are quadruple treble 9 in a row winners. And their hunger is not to be questioned. They obviously want to continue winning trophies. And for me, the League Cup's massive, and it feels right, and it is right that Celtic are back in the final. It's where we belong. Last season, the league campaign was a disgrace, but the cup competitions were just as bad, in my opinion, especially because we were so used to having this kind of start to the season where we would always wrap up the League Cup, and we've got a fantastic opportunity to do it. It won't be an easy game. Hibs obviously played really well yesterday. Like Sir Martin Boyle, very dangerous player, so we'll need to be in our A game to win the final. But I'm absolutely delighted we'll be getting there. I thought the tributes to Bertie Auld, and I mean, again, the guys that come up with these displays, and you put a video up, it's absolutely amazing the work that goes into these and how quickly they get it together, and it looks excellent. And it was a fitting result to get to a final. Bertie Auld knew all about finals, big finals, European Cup finals, etc. So it was brilliant. And I seen there was also a couple of displays to Big Skin, who we mentioned in the last podcast, and I thought that was a really nice touch as well, which it was great to see. And just a great weekend for me. I don't want to play Rangers in finals. I don't want Rangers to get the day out. If they get beat, then that's happy days. If they're questioning their players' mentality again, good, that's fine. But we've still got a lot of work to do in terms of the league, and I quite like the way the manager and the players just kind of, the cup final's been benched, and it's all about Leverkusen next. And I think that is how football is. It's very cliche, one game at a time, but I think that is how you need to take it. We can't start getting ahead of ourselves. Every game's massively important up until then. But no, I thought second half was really good, and I think we got what we deserved. And I know that there's a lot of kind of jokes been made about Steven Gerrard and only one trophy in 9, and people kind of go, oh, if you're saying that, you don't really know anything about football. But I mean, in fact, obviously Steven Gerrard improved Rangers, there's no question about that, and they deserved to win the league last year, and we completely imploded. But Gerrard only managed one final in 3 seasons. Big Ange just come in 5 months to a team and a club who were at war with itself, essentially. The fans were at war with the board. The board are still trying to annoy the fans with certain things, and he's managed to get us to a cup final. So I think it's a great achievement for him. I'm no doubt him and the players will be absolutely desperate to mark his first cup campaign, be winning the League Cup, and that would be a really special moment, I think, for the fans who, as we've known and what Celtic should be all about, without sounding spoiled or entitled. I think Celtic Football Club should be challenging for the League Cup, the Scottish Cup, and look to get to to the final every year because the kind of resources we have, the fans we got who were tremendous on Saturday, and so I'm really looking forward to the final. But as I say, a lot of football to be played in between then, and we just need to keep winning. I think Leverkusen, I can't see us getting a result there, and I just think they're too good a team. But all you can hope is maybe Ferencváros takes something off Betis, and we can still beat Betis in the last game to qualify for the Europa League. Either way, we're guaranteed the European football after Christmas. So I think League Cup final, European football after Christmas. I think we're quite unlucky with 4 points behind because of the Giamakis penalty miss. But I think if I'd offered everybody this scenario back in July when we were fucking still chasing Eddie Howe in the place, everybody would have taken it. So it just felt like a proper kind of Celtic weekend, I must admit. Because it was a lot of the days before. I mean, we beat Hearts 3-0 Murrayfield. That was in Christie first played, and Rangers get beat 1-0 off Aberdeen, and they days used to be brilliant. They would lose their semi, we get to the final, and then we would win the final. So, delighted. Big credit to the players. They dug right in. I agree with Danny. I thought Carter Vickers was immense. Really strong player. I thought McGregor really came into his second half. I think Jota was brilliant as well. So it's good to see. And the good thing is we've got a good mix of young, hungry players that probably haven't won a lot, and then we've got a good mix of players that are absolute winners. Joe Hart, McGregor, Forrest, Beaton. And then you've got guys like Jota who'll be wanting to make their mark. So it's nice. It's nice to be on this podcast. This time last year, I was ready to have a fucking heart attack. It was funny. Krista had sent me a video of me last year, and it was me saying just a whole list of fucking abusive things, and then going, well, that was just the manager. So it's very nice to be talking positively about Celtic, and that's what it's all about. So, great weekend. Can't really grumble at all.
Andy, I'll give the last word on the St Johnstone game to you. Anybody, who would you give man the match to? I know Danny's mentioned a few, Tony's mentioned a few, I've said as well. I thought Beaton for me. Who would you pick out of the team?
I think there's an argument. Listen, I'm not a massive Beaton lover. I make that pretty clear, but I mean, he was booked within the first 10 minutes or 10, 15 minutes or so. And I thought after that, to be honest, I was sort of shiting myself because refs are fucking hopeless in this country at the best of times. But when your holding midfielders get a booking, it's a sort of cup semi-final, big game. I had visions of Beaton doing something fucking stupid that we've seen quite a few times. But I thought, to his credit, after that, played really, really well. Didn't give the ref an opportunity to obviously get in his pocket and get an R card out. But again, Danny's already said that I thought Carter Vickers, excellent performance for the big man. He's, for me, equally as important as getting signed up for his sort of future at Celtic as Jota. We've had massive problems in the back line. I feel as if it's all we ever talk about. As Celtic fans, is we've always got decent attackers and forward-thinking players, but for even when I was young, I always think about centre halves. There was always somebody at the back who people thought was a diddy. But Carter Vickers, I think he's really is endearing himself to the fans. I think it's maybe going a wee bit unnoticed just how big an impact he's having, but the best defensive record in the league, another clean sheet, so I think there's an argument to be made for him as well. So it's probably between the two, and the only other one I'd have is Forrest, because I thought when he came on, he got the goal and showed what we missed. So Dan, to answer your question, I don't know, give me a lucky dip between one of the three, and I think it's fair enough.
Aye, that seems fair enough. I don't think, like I said, there was people who were impressive, but I don't think it was a real standout. And it was just good that the team picked themselves up, because I think as quiet as Kyogo's been a while, he seemed to be dropping a lot deeper than usual to actually get a touch of the ball, especially in the first half. But we'll move on to the League Cup final at a later date. Danny, our next game is against Leverkusen in Germany. It's a game that ultimately Celtic almost certainly need to get something from to keep their hopes of qualifying for the Europa League knockout stage intact. Now, Leverkusen gave us a real doing in the home game, but on the positive side, they've only won 3 of their 9 games since then. Can you see Celtic going away from home and really, I don't know, maybe playing the same way they did the first half hour in Betis and taking it to Leverkusen to try and keep their hopes alive?
No, I think we'll take the game to them. I don't think, I'm a wee bit like Tony, I think we'll probably get beat. I know they beat us 4-0 at Parkhead, but I think they probably created better chances that night than we've created all season. I mean, their goalkeeper stopped it for being a 4-3 or a 4 each, or maybe even us winning 5-4. So as bad as we were defensively that night, we were poor and we were naive. We created an awful lot against them, and probably be encouraged that they could do that again on Thursday. But I'm a wee bit like Tony. I'm not expecting it for this one. I have an eye on Betis' game, but I'd expect Betis to beat Ferencváros. The only hope is that Ferencváros turn up in their home strip. That Betis, there's a bit of confusion, but we get lucky a couple of years ago with Rosenborg and Leipzig, so you never know. But it would be good to have a kind of shootout against Betis. I think it's in the middle of December, or maybe right at the start of December. So if we were to have a shootout against Betis at Parkhead, that would be really good. Like a kind of big European game at Celtic Park for all the marbles. That would be a lot of fun, but I can't really see it. I think we'd need to beat Betis. But I think Betis' draw against Leverkusen will probably take it through, but they might be encouraged for the first game that they can create chances against this Leverkusen team. Then hopefully 6-7 weeks later we're a wee bit sharper. Maybe we could take a couple of them, but I don't know. I'm just I kind of know that I don't care, but when we beat Ferencváros, I kind of just put us in the Conference League. So this is a game I think I'd rather do without, and if we could get out it, maybe 1 or 2-0, be quite happy. But I'm more interested in Sunday.
Aye, Tony, as Danny said, it's pretty much a shot to nothing, because I think a lot of people have just sort of accepted that we will drop into the Conference League. Do you see any way that we take a result away from Germany?
Well, you've always got a chance. You could get lucky, but obviously, as we've said before, Leverkusen are a brilliant team, really good players. So, but I mean, they've probably just about secured the group now, so you don't know if they'll maybe rest players and concentrate on the Bundesliga. So, it's a free hit. Nobody's expecting the team to go out there and get a result. Well, I'm not anyway. I know how difficult it is, and I think your job, we were quite unlucky with the group we got. Betis are a good side, and Ferencváros, we obviously managed to beat back-to-back to get the conference at least. So, no, it'll be interesting, but I think we'll lose, I need to be honest. But if we could get a draw or get the win, then that would be brilliant, as Danny says, to have a shootout, because I would maybe fancy us against Betis at Parkhead with our players back. So, but it's a complete free hit as long as we get out without any injuries. He might actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he changed things up a wee bit, to be honest. And as Danny says, the most important game this week is Sunday against Aberdeen, because by then we might be 7 points behind, or we might not. So we're going to there's going to be a need to make sure that we win that game either way. So, but I'm looking forward to Thursday anyway. It's my experience for the guys playing at a top level. Leverkusen did give us a bit of a lesson the last time, and we didn't take our chances. We didn't defend well, and that's what can happen against these European sides. They can punish you something awful. So I'd like to see it be a lot closer than the last game, and I would like to think if we do create, that we take our chances and are a bit sharper defensively. But no, it's just I'm looking forward to it. I've not got much expectation, but you never know. Celtic have got a habit of throwing up wild results sometimes, so hopefully it's going to be one of the games.
Aye, definitely. Andy, as the boys have said, it's a very, very tough task for Celtic to go and take anything from Leverkusen. They are top of the group by 3 points. They've scored 11 and only conceded 2. But at the same point, as Tony said and Danny mentioned as well, on the night of the Celtic Park game, the Leverkusen keeper was probably the best player. And do you think Celtic can go there and just either be more clinical, or just hope that he doesn't have another sort of wonder game like that, and hopefully Celtic can take something in it, or that you might even be able to miraculously see Ferencváros get their first points on board in the group against Betis?
I mean, listen, that was it's weird talking about a 4-0 game and taking positives for it. Because if you just look at the scoreboard, you would assume you get gubbed, and listen, what showed there is taking chances at that level. You don't take them, you get punished. But listen, their keeper had one of the best sort of goalkeeping performances I've seen in a long, long while. Some of the saves he was making were outstanding. And again, it just shows you the value of a top keeper, which they've obviously got. But obviously the other side of that is sort of we were leaking chances. We weren't great at the back. Again, a lot of it comes from we're still learning a new system. We're still get a lot of players doing things and sort of on the football park that have never really been asked of them before, like fullbacks coming in and obviously a certain way of working, which listen, a team at that level, they were always going to fancy their chances of exploiting that. But listen, there's no reason why we can't go there and score. And who knows, they might be sort of looking at it as we've qualified, we've done our bit really. I mean, I know I don't think I'm mathematically through yet, but you would assume that we sort of think they've got 10 points so far, 2 games left. You would assume that they could maybe afford to rotate, and hopefully they do. Like you really don't know. And I mean, we could turn up, have a game of our lives. Like football's a funny old game. We've seen it a million times where we've done it, other teams have done it, and get something out of a game that everybody's written them off for. I would love to see that, but again, like you say, Finnish Faros they've got Farco to play for. They might go and do Rosenborg and do us a favour. You just don't know. But I probably would ease. I think it'd be highly unlikely for that to happen. But never say never. Important for me, just go away. Another bit of experience playing against that obviously outstanding football team. More experience playing away from home in Europe, which sort of moving into the Conference League, which sounded like Danny probably had his mark for moving into that after the sort of start we had in the group. It's massive experience for getting into that. It's what you take going forward, and you take the positives for that. Then again, hopefully we come back, no injuries, and it'd be good to even. It's the type of game that I mean. I reckon you maybe start Forest. Going out there, and again, it's more chances for if Ange maybe rotates one or two things, because I mean he might be of the same opinion. That listen, it's maybe no worth sort of going full strength starting 11, and maybe it's worth tinkering with one or two and getting a couple of opportunities. I really don't know how sort of both teams are going to line up, but it's a game I'm expecting to come away with 0 points. Anything we come away with will be a bonus. As long as we don't sort of pick up any injuries, then I'm fairly happy with it. And we move on to obviously the weekend game, which we will cover obviously in our podcast. But just come away, no injuries, don't make an arse of ourselves, and hopefully finish first. Days a favour.
Aye, but I'm actually a bit more optimistic. I just think the way Ange sets his teams up, I think they'll go out there with nothing to lose and they'll just go to attack. And as much as Betis and Leverkusen took 4 off us, I just think Celtic have played all right against them, and it's a case of shutting up shop. I know that's easier said than done, so I don't know if Starfelt will be back, and obviously Stephen Welsh went off at the weekend, so I don't know, I might end up with like Beaton at the back with Carter Vickers and maybe McCarthy brought in, I don't know, something like that maybe, but I think Celtic will just go for it, and I think it'll be a high scoring game, and I don't know, I'd love to see it just at least get a point, and then as I mentioned, just take it to that last game against Betis where you'll have a full Celtic Park and it'll be one of the dark European nights underneath the disco lights, and you've just got a chance to just, as Danny mentioned, just have a shootout with Betis for that last place. But no, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll start predictions off. Yeah, you know what? I think it'll be 2 each. I think Celtic will go out there. I think they'll be fully confident, and as I mentioned, Leverkusen are in great form now. Have only won 3 of their last 9, so Celtic should be looking to just try and no make stupid mistakes at the back, and I think they're well and capable of going out there and getting a few goals at least. I mean, we've done it in Betis, we've done it away in Budapest as well in the last away European game, so hopefully we can continue our good goal scoring away European form. But Danny, will take your prediction.
You stole mine, my optimistic one. We've scored 3 goals in each of our previous 2 away games, and I don't know if we'll score 3 on Thursday, but I'm going to go for 3 each. I don't think Hidreki will have as good a game as he did the last time. We'll put the ball in the pokey 3 times, and Carter Vickers will score. He's getting closer. He attacks the ball really well, and he's going to bust the net with a header on Thursday night.
Tony, I'll take your prediction.
Hart says 2-1 Celtic. Head says 3-1 Leverkusen. My prediction's got to come right. I'll go for a McGregor double, and I don't know, somebody to score for them. So either 2-1 Celtic or 3-1 Leverkusen, but I'm inclined to go with my head, I'm afraid.
Andy, you going round off with predictions with a positive Celtic result?
I'll go for a wee Desmond. I reckon it'll be 2 each. Fuck knows who's going to score. I'm sick of predicting them because I keep predicting Kyogo. He doesn't score, so I'm jinxing him. So I'm not going to predict any scorers, but I'll go for a 2 each. That'll get us a point on the board, and then we'll go into the last game with a big night ahead of us, and then we'll be better and all.
Certainly hope so. That's going to do us for the night. We will be back on Thursday. It's an early kick-off, so hopefully we'll be able to get a quick match reaction out to you on Thursday night. We'll have a wee Aberdeen preview and that as well. But just like to thank everybody that came to the podcast at Malone's on Saturday. It was really well attended, and it was really busy as well. It was a great setup for the semi-final, and obviously all the positive vibes for that came and took Celtic to victory, I'm sure. Keep an eye out on Twitter and Facebook for the next one. We'll keep you updated with that. And thanks to everybody that came, and to Malone's for hosting us as well. Big thanks to everybody that's continuing to subscribe, wherever you subscribe, whether it be Apple, Spotify or YouTube. Remember, search 4Tims on YouTube and subscribe. That really helps us out. And we'll be back on Thursday night. Thanks for listening. Cheers.